Yesterday, Blizzard put out a community outreach post taking us all into what's coming for Diablo Immortal, what we can expect, and we kind of brought that to you guys on the channel in the form of a short, just giving you the details. But the question is, will these changes save Diablo Immortal? Now, I say this in a weird way. Diablo Immortal doesn't really need saving. The game is doing really well, but is this new stuff coming to the game gonna make the game better, gonna keep people like myself and others that are playing for a really long time playing for a long time? Now, let's go through these notes really quickly and see which things I believe may be game changers for Diablo Immortal. So, first of all, stash space. Is getting more stash space going to change the game overall and bring in new players and keep players playing forever? No. Will it be a nice quality of life change that'll allow people to have more diversity with their builds and a little bit more flexibility with class changing and having the space they need? Yes, I think that it will, but it's not game changing. So that's not going to be something that's going to save Diablo Immortal. Events, having a calendar inside of the game. This is actually good. They do put things out there showing you what's coming to the game. But things like the haunted carriage, I miss that darn thing every single time. I've probably only done it 5 times since the game released, and it's because I'm just never in the right space at the right time, and I just always miss it. Having something like that on a calendar would be really beneficial to me so that I could not miss it moving forward. We also have PvP. New PvP coming to the game. And yes, this is it. This is the game changer right here. PvP inside of the game right now is stagnant, it's stale, and it's very heavy towards whales, people that spend the money inside of the game. Now, that is not the majority of players. Whales, or heavy spenders, are the minority of players inside of all games. There are more free-to-play players, and there always will be, than whales. So what does this tell me for the life of the game? Not exactly for the monetary health of the game. We need to, or Blizzard needs to, put things out there that are really great for the free-to-play players as well. Game modes that are not only PvE, not only open world exploration, but PvP, the exciting, the addicting element to the game. That is what needs to be changed and improved for free-to-play players. By this, I'm not talking about just having you go in, farm up, get as strong as you can, buy as many legendary crests as you can, and gem up, get that resonance high, and then have a good time. No, I'm talking about someone that can, day one, log into the game, or maybe you have to put in a week of grind to understand the mechanics of the game, and then be able to have an opportunity to play PvP that does not have anything to do with your resonance, with your combat rating, with your power. It has everything to do with your skill. The ways that we could do this are through different loadouts. We could do team deathmatch style things. And I'm using terms that are very common in the shooter genre, in the shooter space, because this is where we most often see PvP, right? But of course, it's in other game modes as well. And action RPGs, I think, are in need of it, especially right here with Diablo Immortal. Little backstory why. Action RPGs are not the biggest genre on mobile. Now, we could look at this and wonder why that is. Is it that all of them have pay-to-win elements to them that people don't love? Is it that it doesn't have an addicting enough gameplay that enough people don't play it? Is it that it's just not the most popular genre for mobile gamers? I'm not sure. The community can attest to that in the comments below. But having a free-to-play, player-friendly element to the game in the form of PvP is the answer for Blizzard. Just let that absorb for a second as I take a sip of my coffee. Make Diablo Immortal as pay to win as you want for PvP that we have now. For the Immortals versus Shadows, I don't care. You know why? Because I'm going to spend my $5 a month in the game, whether it's me just grinding the world, free to play PvP or whatever. I'm spending $5 a month in the game on my battle pass. That's how it's going to be. Until cosmetics are cross class, then I'll spend more. That day is not today, unfortunately. Hopefully that can come in too. But if we had a mode that was just for free to play, that doesn't mean the whales can't play it. It's just all the money that the whales spent inside of the game won't help them in PvP if we have a free to play mode. So keep the current PvP as it is, where the whales and heavy spenders, they can dominate that. That'll be great for them because they need to be rewarded for their spend. Let's be clear here. People that spend money inside of the game They need to feel the reward from that. In Diablo Immortal, you can spend a lot of money inside of the game. They should be rewarded in some way. Whether they're the Immortals, whether they are just dominating in PvP, that's cool. But let's make modes that are also for people that don't want to spend, that everyone can be involved in. That would be really cool because it would be nice for the whales, the heavy spenders, or even just the medium spenders to be able to compete with players that are just free to play and battle it out based on skill. Drop into the world in a battle royale mode where you're inside of like a ground like the fractured plane, and each time you go to a room, you encounter another person. And you win by being the last person standing. 15 rooms, 15 floors. Each time you get to a next floor and defeat the enemies in there, get your chest, upgrade your skills and gear, then you go fight someone. Then if you win that fight, you move on. Man, that would be fun. And it wouldn't have anything to do with gear that you've grinded, money that you spent. It all has to do with just the game mode. I don't know who would listen to this right now and hear this discussion and say, oh, that doesn't sound fun. I would say the majority of people would think that that was a fun game mode. And if it costs nothing, man, that is this instant success game mode put into Diablo Immortal. Now, I say, will it make Diablo Immortal survive, right? Diablo Immortal is going nowhere. It is the best action RPG on mobile. I mean, Diablo Immortal is by far the number one. We had Torchlight Infinite come out. We thought that may be a competitor. Honestly, it's a speck on the map compared to Diablo Immortal. Same thing with Undecember. Great game. But again, it just can't compete with Diablo Immortal. Whatever the reasons may be for that, in the mobile gaming space, and even in the gaming space, games come out and take over a genre. Clash of Clans has the whole, the city builder. There's no game that can come out like Clash of Clans and beat it. There's too much money behind the game. There's too much time inside of the game. There's too much of a community behind the game. In Kingdom Builders, Rise of Kingdoms, it's the best. It's got the most people, the most money behind it. It would be very hard for something to come out and dethrone that. In the shooter genre, we have PUBG and Call of Duty. Those are pretty much the best ones out there. Apex Legends came out on mobile, and it's having a hard time to dethrone them. It's struggling in that battle. And I'm bringing all this up because it's kind of the same as what we're seeing here with Diablo Immortal. It would be very hard to make a game as good as Diablo Immortal and take over Diablo Immortal. The only way that could happen is if it's literally Diablo Immortal and it's absolutely free, which then the developer wouldn't be able to support the game and it wouldn't be able to win. People may be saying, what about Path of Exile Mobile? They're coming out with a game. Yeah, that was announced years ago and we haven't heard anything since. I'm wondering if that was just a meme or if it's actually going to come out. I hope that it does. Healthy competition is great. I would definitely try it for sure. Guaranteed. But what we have been seeing as these updates come is Diablo Immortal gets better and better. Every single update has gotten better. And I'm not talking about just better overall. I'm talking about better for free-to-play players. More free stuff, more legendary crests, more ways to upgrade, more ways to enjoy the game, less requirements for grind, more quality of life stuff. But PvP is the key. That should be my banner on my YouTube channel. PvP is the key. Now, I don't know if anyone listens to this. I don't know if Blizzard hears it. I've said it multiple times, but man, myself, not only me, my whole community, other communities, Darth microtransactions communities have voiced the need for a PvP mode that is not what we have now. And having one that's free is not going to take money out of Blizzard's pockets, right? Maybe developing it and not having a return on that, sure. But PvP that is free for people, that doesn't need them to have any gear, instantly makes this game one of the best of all time. I mean, it's already up there as one of the greatest of all time, but this is going to like boost it up because you could have everyone come and enjoy. You could have people that will just play Diablo Immortal for PvP, just like I used to only play Call of Duty for PvP. I never played the campaigns. I would get the new COD and I would play PvP, and that was it. That's all that mattered to me. So this update here, or this community outreach post, says there's new PvP coming. Upon Diablo Immortal's PvP offerings is something we're currently testing. We have a few avenues we're considering and have more details about new modes in the future. Unfortunately, it says nothing about a timeline. A future can mean next month, it can mean next year. Who knows what that means? But at least they see that new PvP could be coming or needs to come. Now they could totally botch it and they could totally make it so that it's based on your gear. And it's going to be the same nonsense we have right now in PvP, where light spenders and free-to-play players will never be able to dominate. There will be no ladder that we could climb because realistically, there's no way we could win, right? It needs to be changed. All right, what else do we have here? There are going to be changes to classes. And the monk class got a buff, by the way, because it needed a buff. It was underused, it was underloved, and it was underpowered. So they gave it the buff. And they basically say here they're always looking at the classes and they're always trying to figure out what's coming up next. Engaging events. Yep, Fractured Plane is back. I asked for that. That came back as well. Love that game mode. I'd like to see it continuously stay back. Utilizing more Paragon trees. Sure, that's cool. Is it going to make people stay with the game? No, it's cool that we can do it, but it's not going to make people stay. Now, the events, you know, continuing bringing new events to the game, that could keep people's interest as well, but nothing like PvP. And something we skipped in the very beginning right here is new classes are coming. So the Blood Knight is essentially been confirmed. By the way, all of the notes that we've discussed right here, they have all come to us through the data mine from Datamine ARPG. I'll be linking his Twitter in the description of this video. If I forget to, because sometimes that happens, yell at me in the comments and I'll make sure I get it in there. But he brings us the data mines telling us what's coming. We knew about all of this minus the PvP. I don't think that was mentioned in there. Months back, because he found it in the code. Also a new fishing mode, a little casual fishing mode. It's a little silly mini game, but it'll be fun. It's not going to make people stay with the game forever, but I think we're pretty clear here. Blizzard, we need more PvP. That's it, and it needs to be for free-to-play players. That is what's going to boost Diablo Immortal up in people's hearts, up on the charts, and it's going to just make it the best. It's literally what we need. Let me know if you guys agree in the comments section below, and if you love Diablo Immortal or other action RPGs, make sure you subscribe for more. I'll see you tomorrow.